Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Phantom Fandom. Today is a song and music video review of the new Everglow song, Adios. I was pretty excited for this song. I was a big fan of Everglow's debut. So this song is interesting because the verses are more trap rap influenced than the chorus. The chorus and the reoccurring melody that comes in a lot of places is heavily influenced by Eastern European EDM. And this is something I could tell immediately from hearing it, but I had to do a bit of research to figure out that this is a specific EDM subgenre that seems to be called Big Room House, and according to Igloo's music on Reddit, it consists of a continuous big kick with a sidechain bass and a transition snare every 8 pattern in the drums, a super saw layered lead. They also layered vocal chops to the lead. And I'll get to the chorus in a second, but personally, while the chorus I think is really cool, the song really shines in its verse raps. And this is because there's a lot of different syncopated raps and triplet raps and a few different types of flows. But what's interesting is there's a lot of low vocal performances and a lot of high ones intermixed, and it goes back and forth and it creates kind of a more dynamic energy. And just these portions have so much character. I feel like I'm getting a lot of the members' personalities through these rap deliveries. Particularly the second verse is amazing. EU, I believe her name is, her delivery is super convincing. Her personality seems pretty bubbly and not super intense, but like the way she delivers her verse in the beginning of the second verse is insane. The bridge from the verse to the pre-chorus is a really nice change of pace musically, as a bridge should be. The vocals get kind of soft. They become less sassy and characteristic and more, melodic and sing-song. And the claps coming in for the first time blew me away. They're so percussive and intense and crunchy that it really prepared me for what was about to come. And what comes is a pre-chorus, which, while we expected this massive drop, the pre-chorus drops all the percussion, everything about the instrumental out, and just has the voices. It's the main vocal refrain, which is goodbye, au revoir, adios, though it kind of blends together and sounds like goodbye, au revoir, adios. But anyway, it's the main vocal refrain It's the main vocal refrain over and over with nothing else except some ad-libs, and then the last one is whispered right before it drops. And I love when people play with the expectations, because we thought it was going to drop, it didn't, it's great. And also when musicians play with silence in an otherwise massive and dense piece of music, I think that's amazing. And then the chorus is just as I described. It's a heavy droning kick with bass. The melody is in the form of a synth, and it's written in a minor key, here in A sharp minor. And there's, like I said, there's a clap every 8 beats. The second half of the chorus adds in some more melody with the voices and also some more drums here and there. It's kind of minimalist, but it's really full of sound because it's really dense. Now, minor keys are everywhere in K-pop now. You hear them in songs that people may describe as Egyptian sounding, such as Boombayah, I'm So Hot. It's gotten to the point that people are starting to get tired of these minor sounding drops in K-pop, and I do get that, but I'll get to why it works for me in a second. The melody is also super swingy and uses triplets, and combined with this minor key, it kind of evokes the feeling of like a pirate shanty. If you use maybe like some sort of different instrument, like a string instrument, it might sound like that quite a bit to some people. The song ends with the same melody, but this time they sing along directly. And for once, there isn't just a bass drone, there's a different bass synth that changes notes progressively through the beat. It's also a nice change and a really great way to bring the energy to a close at the end of this. For me, this all works super well. I know this type of EDM seems to be controversial because, especially for Eastern Europeans or just people who listen to Eastern European type EDM a lot, they've heard this melody before. They've heard this type of music so many times, and it's also this type of, I believe this subgenre of EDM has been a bit controversial in that it seems too simplified and it's hard to really be interesting with it, especially nowadays. But I think its inclusion works pretty well for me. I'm not really involved with EDM like that. The kind of EDM I listen to are like Daft Punk and more disco influenced stuff. So I think having this really hard EDM subgenre inclusion is a lot rarer these days, because we don't have artists like Tiara. We don't really have artists like Tiara making music like that heavy EDM inspired anymore. So for me, it was super effective, caught me off guard, so much energy. Like I said, both the verses and the chorus deliver a different type of energy. The chorus is more just a hard, aggressive type energy, and then the verse raps are really sassy and full of character. So yeah, I love this song. The video is really great. I think it's interesting because there's some really cool camera work and slowing effects, especially near the beginning. The styling is elegant but really powerful. And what's interesting, it's not a very colorful music video. It's mostly like whites, blacks, and browns, which, you know, contrasts a lot of today's K-pop as super colorful, which I like too. But this makes particular small like hair color highlights and certain on the clothing stand out a lot. And the desert scene is pretty awesome, because it's primarily where the drop scenes will happen, and it feels like I'm at like an EDM festival in the desert. There's backup dancers. The choreography is really simple, but it's pretty powerful and effective, and not super feminine, which is cool. It's pretty gender neutral, and it matches the intensity of the drop. And I guess just to go over the elephant in the room real quick, I don't particularly agree that this song reminds me of Kill This Love by Blackpink. You know, the production styles are radically different. The chorus drops are radically different. In Kill This Love, the chorus is really brassy and has a sparse 808 drum. But the Adios chorus is very specific and different musical style with a massive synth and a much fuller sound. The only thing that I can really hear is that the beginning of the second verse, you could argue it's a bit similar in structure and vocal, how the vocal performance lands, but I think that hardly stands on its own to be enough of, to be compared to another song. And Kill This Love is just kind of like way more quirky and colorful, while this is a very direct, aggressive, black and white type thing. So yeah, I love this song. I listened to the album too. The other two tracks were cool, but it didn't really hit hard like the single did. So yeah, I want to thank you for listening to this review. This has been... What the hell is the name of... This has been Phantom Fandom. I want to thank you all for coming, and I'll see you later.